We may all walk big, and those guys who walk along and look really cocky, they're the ones who are most scared. Mm-hmm. They're deeply scared. We're all, we all think everybody else has got a big club, while we've got a tiny Q-tip behind us. That's all I've got. And we all think we've just missed out on what life, the secrets of life, and everybody else has got it. Everybody else is, yeah. But the wonderful secret is that we're all equally afraid and uncertain, and that isn't a bad thing. It's a wonderful. The most amazing one was a man I met. Had been a commander in the Royal Navy. In fact, he'd been in charge of the Royal Yacht Britannia, which was the Queen's yacht. And he suffered really, really badly. And at one point, he was in a hospital with light security because he'd been, talking to his people, about the fact that he was considering suicide. He was really, really low. He managed to evade his security people. He walked out into the road in front of a lorry, and his legs were smashed to pieces, and so badly that he had dozens of operations with pins, had them rebroken, and it took years to get his legs right so he could walk. And I remember saying to him, "My God, the pain you must have been in when you did all these operations." He said, "Yes." He said, "But you have to remember that pain was nothing like as bad as the pain inside that made me walk into the traffic." Mm-hmm. And that's a thing that people don't understand about really severe depression. There's a very much an attitude, "Oh, go and walk it off." Yeah. Just have a good walk, listen to some music, you'll be fine.
It's the stiff upper lip.
Yeah, right? And it's unfortunately not. It just isn't like that. It's like saying walk off the weather. The weather is real, and it's the weather inside you. But you can perhaps at least say, look what it will do to other people.
Right. Did you ever get that low?
Yeah, I tried to end my life on a number of occasions. Pre-20s, a couple of times with a huge mixture of pills. Fortunately for me, it was such a mixture, and they went together so badly that my brother, who had a bedroom some way away from mine in my parents' house, was awakened by the sound of my projectile vomit. and he came in, and I was sort of unconscious, but spewing. So I was taken to a hospital and had my stomach pumped, so that was very fortunate. On another occasion, and again it's sort of faintly comic really, is I put myself in a garage and put a duvet, sort of quilt, under the door, and put my finger on the keys of the car, and really was thinking of turning the key. But
how did you get out of that, though?
It was my parents. It was the thought of doing that to my parents. What it actually ended up with was me feeling much better about myself in the end, because I realised that I had an issue with mood swings, bipolar disorder, and I made a couple of films for the BBC some years later called The Secret Life of the Manic Depressive, which was a really interesting thing to do because I met people who had the problem even far more than I had, and it made me extremely grateful for not having manic depression or bipolar disorder as badly as they did, but also grateful for knowing that that one could make a program about it and try and help alleviate some of the stigma that surrounds mental health issues. I don't know many people actually worth knowing who don't have a mind that sometimes leads them astray. Right. I don't know that sanity, real, sober, sensible sanity, is such a glorious thing.